on the other side and do the tour backwards.
Okay.
Which we don't mind. All of them want to work anyway. And then maybe by then the kids might be a little worn out and want to just sit. Because he's a really fun bird for adults to fly. He's a big hawk.
Oh, nice.
And he's very good with adults. And you can actually set a tripod and get real nice slow-mo videos coming in. So he's fun. We don't want to miss out on him.
Okay.
But unfortunately with the kids it's a no-go.
Okay.
More of a hands-off zone. So you're sitting, you're seeing, you're learning. We call them educational conservation talks. And this helps us reach more of the public. We do 5 presentations a week. If people want to come, like yesterday the church group came, and the reason the pastor wanted to bring them is a lot of the kids are shooting birds. They're slingshotting them. Like during the summer they were bored, and he was like, I'm really worried about them. And so we came in and we had a big discussion about God's creations, and they feel pain. And so this is kind of where we do a lot of that conservation talks. We do rescue. So say you guys see a raptor hit by a car. We actually have one in the clinic right now, a little tiny pygmy meow. He got hit by a car and someone called me and said, come and help me, and I did. So this is our avian clinic. On site we have an x-ray machine, we do blood work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We do blood work on site, x-rays. We do a majority of what we can here, and if we can't fix them without surgery, we take them to the city and we work with a Belizean vet named DeShield. I don't know if you guys ever remember Michael DeShield. Yeah, amazing man. So we work with his son. He went to the States and got his veterinary license, and now he's probably one of the leading vets in the country. Awesome guy. Kept his pets. So they all have different backgrounds, and we're going to learn them. So you're going to learn about the bird and the species, and then you're going to learn about why they're here. And I want you guys to ask questions. Make it interactive. If I miss anything or you want to know how many eggs one lays, just ask me. If I don't know, I'll Google it. Just on the program, and notice that everyone was talking about crocodiles and jaguars and tapirs and toucans and parrots, but no one really talked about raptors. The zoo does some work, but they do it mostly in the villages surrounding the area of the zoo. And so that's why I started the Raptor Centre, because I wanted people to learn about birds of prey and to love them. Right? Because once you start meeting them in a minute, you're going to fall in love with them. Alright, so we're going to meet Odin. Does anyone know where we got the name Odin from?
No.
Odin.
Isn't the god of thunder, huh?
Yeah, so Thor's father.
Thor, yeah.
Norse.
And they say that Odin traded his eye for wisdom. So Odin came from Benkevejo. I got actually a call and someone said, my neighbor just shot this hawk down. And so we kind of joked that he traded the eye to not eat chickens anymore. So he traded for wisdom. He survived. But one-eyed raptors can't go back to the wild. So if you were to hold your hands like this, and you go like this is how raptors see. So they actually cannot see peripheral, and they can't move their eyes. Oh, you have ants? Yeah. Right here when we have 7. And that's what allows them to rotate their head. On a good day, I can turn like this. They can actually turn here and look over here. Yeah, so they can get nearly 270-degree turn in that head. Most people think owls only can do that, and they can do 360, but they can't. It's only 270. But if you think your vision's like this, and then this happens, you're losing a lot of your field of vision, and they actually don't survive in the wild like that. Odin's having a morning. So recently, Odin went from being a tethered bird to being free in there. When you have a bird that comes in with a missing eye, it takes him a little while to get used to the environment. Yeah, there you go.
Spread his wings too.
So when he spreads his wing, if you look at the left wing, there's a feather that sticks out funny. That's called the thumb feather. So when the person shot him down, they actually shot right through the hand area, and that broke all the bones in that area, and that's why the wing flips up like this. And then we noticed he had an old injury. So the eye injury was actually older. We're not really sure how it happened, but what probably happened is he was struggling to hunt and survive, so he made his way into town, and he went after easy food. Right? So we went after small hens.
Think you the feeder?
No,
No,
don't
no,
touch.
no, don't touch it. Wait.
Like, really, take this.
Did I make that a little big, buddy?
Oh.
She's been there for 4 or 5 years now. Every year she has young. But yeah, these guys, you're gonna find them. Orange orchards are a huge part of where they hunt. So they're really good for farmers. If you think about what destroys oranges, woodpeckers. Woodpeckers love growing on oranges. These guys love woodpeckers.
Oh.
So they eat the woodpeckers. They're gonna eat small lizards, snakes. They also like squirrels. So we do find them in your coconut farming area. So they're really good for farming. Okay. They help keep the pests down. But unfortunately, people do call them the gavilans and the chicken hawks. Yeah.
Oh.
So this one and the roadside hawk, during their first year of life, they only survive 10% of the time.
Oh.
That's really bad.
How long they live?
So they can live 5 to 8 years. But there's a lot of variables in the wild against them. People, hit by cars, barbed wire fences, diseases. Sometimes prey wins too. Sometimes they'll grab a snake and the snake doesn't want to be food that day and it wraps around it and or they get bit by a squirrel and then they get infections. So the wild is a very hard place. It's a hard place out there for animals. It really is.
Is there any disease that it's related to them? Any?
So the most common one that we see here is parasites. And then also there's a disease that's passed from pigeons and grackles to the raptors. It's not something that we can get though. It's avian specific. But like trichomoniasis, we know it in mammals. Mammals can get it, but it's a different form.
Oh.
Yeah. Right now and then
Are they edible? Can humans eat them?
birds? Oh yeah. There's a guy in.
This one here?
Yeah. They're just rich red meat. I mean, all birds are the same. I wouldn't suggest it though. So they make their scent trails. So when these guys are flying over the field, they pick up that scent trail and they follow it until they come to the mother lode, which is right outside the den because rats don't urinate in their own home. They come outside and urinate, and that actually tells other rats it's their den. So then these guys find it and they sit and they wait.
Oh.
And what they're doing is they're waiting for that rat to come out of the den and then they'll swoop down and grab it. Yeah, so
My
Yes.
superpower.
it is a good superpower for them.
See?
My superpower would be vulture vomit. Yeah. So I'll fly down here and then we'll fly to them up there because he likes that angle. So let's get him flown down here.
Who wants to go first?
I can't whistle.
It's okay. We have to train him.
You should call
And we love pizza. We're very big fans of how to make that. So his wings are 44 compared to a 15. So 44 inches to 15 inch body. So because his wings are so big, he has to balance. So the rocking is a balancing. Looks kind of cute.
Hurry
Though.
up,
He's
Tito.
like,
Yeah, that's so cute.
and there's only a few raptors that do that. There's a real small one called a kestrel, and then he uses his tail to balance too.
Not me.
So you're gonna just open, yep, just like that. Open your fist up.
And that's it. So this happens when we receive us.
So that's the ultimate goal for any bird training.
You can take as much pictures as you
Now
want.
the Tito's next. Oh no.
If for the promise to tag we na eh. We win.
I just want to lay down in the grass.
Yeah, so right, so we open the equipment, you can let go the string. And he doesn't know if we go over there. Yeah, so doing this a couple of times, he gets to exercise, stretch your wings. We're unhealthy to have animal just sit all day. It's not healthy for them. Just like we have to move wrong and walk, even if we don't want to walk. So with the slow motion, I'll tell her like he did at the best angle. It better when time the camera not moving at slow motion, so set the phone that everybody there in the shot. Hold it like this. Yes, I'll help out. Okay. Alright, ready, set, record.
Come in.
It's so cool, right?
Yes.
Look at his eyes.
Yes, look at the eyes.
You see the sharp talons?
Yes.
These are sharp. You can't touch them.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that big wing. That's a huge wing, right?
Yes.
And you see the tail?
This is
What color is the tail?
Blanco.
White.
It's
Blanco.
white. Yeah.
Blanco.
Over there.
Don't be scared, don't be scared.
Open it up. Good. You felt the breeze from that. Record. Toothless.
I'll do this one more.
It's a full string. You can look at him. Look at his beautiful eyes. Whoop. You felt the breeze? Alright, you ready? Toothless. Good job, bud.
That's
He's very
my
mighty
number.
Yep. Alright.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, like you have my equipment and I want to leave.
It looks
Ready?
like he has something under his wing.
Alright, so let go of the rope. My rope will fly over.
It looks like he has something. It looks like he has something under his wing, like a little black thing.
Oh yeah, you have a set of black feathers. Right now, after that smile multipliers, no by 10.
Ready? Tell me what.
Good. Toothless. Toothless. So much more better up close. Right?
Yes, yes.
Es que no conoces ese pájaro ahí. El pájaro.
Nice job.
Okay, thank you.
So, ako gawa likat. I used to train bird din na so past life man.
You want them up there or you want?
Aquí abajo, ven, aquí sube. Así está.
We'll just get with it. Just move around with us wherever you
Well,
want to.
do take the pictures then that way. That way and I have that behind
You have the
you.
nice background.
It look nice on that cross.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Cool plants.
Oh, su pecho, sí. Oh, wow.
You're gonna hold this one.
What?
So this is the rarest falcon in the world. This is the orange-breasted falcon.
Which one?
Say it again.
Orange-breasted falcon.
Orange.
Orange breasted.
Orange-breasted. Yep. We had a new report come out, and I got an email recently. This year in Guatemala and Belize, together they've counted less than 50 individuals. Last year we had 52 individuals in Belize and 18 in Guatemala. So in a span of just 1 year, they have declined drastically. Also, because they're so rare, people are now cutting trails so they can get better pictures of them. So we're starting to see trails going all the way to their nesting sites. And with trails actually introduces human scent. So even though we don't know we're doing it, we're leaving a scent. So we're leaving paths for animals to follow. And the biggest animals that like to predate on eggs are weasels. So you get your grissons, your tyros, and they use scent trails. So we are introducing other means of decline by introducing that. These guys are also, because of lack of habitat, they are territorial, and it's the female, this is the female, Maya, it's the female that will secure the area. So we have had a female come from Tikal and kill a female at 1,000-foot Falls to take over her nesting site. That kind of tells you one thing. Well, They don't know the borders, and they, right? Everyone else jokes about that. And then also, there's not enough habitat there for them to utilize. So now they're coming here and using the habitats here.
Okay.
So we do find these birds in the Cayo district and also in the Toledo district. And even though our population is small, we do have the largest population in Central and South America.
Wow.
Yes. So that's how urgent this one
they're
is.
not in the endangered species?
They're critically endangered. They're so endangered that we had an estimated extinction year of 2032. But are we going to get there? That's the... as a biologist, this is the bird that brought me to Belize. The orange-breasted, as doing a project with the Prairie Fund. And they bring these birds from the United States. There's a man that breeds them. He's put over $2 million US in this project in the last 2 years, trying to save this bird so our children grow up to see them in the wild. I got chills. He's dedicated his life work to this, and for some reason we can't figure it out. They're declining so quickly that we might not get to 10 years before they're gone. We might get to 5, and we might have to use this bird as an example of, hey, we couldn't save this one, but maybe we can save this next one.
But I think it also boils down to education, because
Huge.
we just say, oh, it's a bird.
Yep.
Let's shoot them.
Yep.
Just,
Yep. Persecution. For some reason, they've changed diets. In the last 5 to 10 years, their diets have gone from above the canopy in the Pine Ridge and, down south above the canopy, to now we're starting to see them at Cajal Patch. We're starting to see them on the Ring Road in Belmopan. And they're eating pigeons and grackles. And I hate to say it, but pigeons and grackles are they're more around humans. So they're getting in closer contact with people. And people haven't seen them before. So one flies in and my chickens are out there eating. I might be like, oh no, it's here to eat my chickens.
Yeah.
These birds can't take off from the ground. They're like rat bat. They have to drop in order to take off. So they'd never eat a chicken. If they actually catch food and drop it, they leave it. Because they know once they're grounded, they're in danger. Right? Because they need to, fly off. So education's huge. Like, I honestly don't believe without education there's any point doing reintroductory programs or rehabilitation. If I get a bird that's been shot and I don't go to the village and talk to them about why you shouldn't shoot this bird, then why would I rehab it and put it back? I might as well just euthanize it.
Yeah.
Because it's a waste of money.
Yes.
And then programs like this, when you're spending millions of dollars trying to put the bird back in the wild, you have to educate the public. So we're hoping that we can change. It's not just the kids we're relying on now, it's the adults. The adults are the ones we have to change about the OBF. The kids, we want them to grow up loving raptors, but we need the parents to stop shooting them. Right? So we noticed something was wrong with her. She wasn't exercising on the platform. The platform in the Pine Ridge has 30 feet on 3 sides and a 1,600-foot drop on the next. Because when their babies fledge, they have to drop. And so she was not getting close to the edge. So when we pulled her, the vet looked at her eyes and said, oh, she was born with cataracts. So her vision has always been blurry. And then unfortunately for her, you can't remove the cataract and fix it, because as you develop, your brain programs vision. So if you've never had that programming, you can't give her vision. So unfortunately for Maya, she'll live in a blurry world her whole life. That'd be crazy. You just see blurs.
She doesn't know anything different.
Yep. It doesn't harm her.
Born like that, you don't know the world anything
Wouldn't that be
different.
cute?
Yeah.
To her, this is normal.
Yeah. Yeah, we the National Channel. Are you guys familiar with the
Yes.
National? So we were doing a documentary with them. It's called The Gems of Belize, and it talks about organizations that are striving to protect certain animals. And so we have a big episode, and during the episode, it was filmed at the beginning of the year when we only had the reports from last year. And they've just wrote me and said, can you do an urgent broadcast saying, like, look guys, in a matter of 6 months' time, we have gone from, nearly 70 birds to less than 50. And like this year, we had 7 babies born in Belize and 2 already dead. There's only 5 birds in the entire country born. I mean, they do helicopter surveys, they do on-ground surveys. They spend a lot of money just doing surveys to see where these birds are, because they're very predictable in their nesting. So you know where to go and look.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful picture. You mean help?
Yes, please.
Alright. You're first. Maya.
Down my feet.
She, unlike the other birds, she nervous bad because no matter what she can do, she can stick with. So you want to keep your hand as steady as possible with that part up.
Yeah. Perfect.
And she will eventually get comfortable.
Hey, good girl. Hey, Maya.
She's trembling.
She's trembling.
Poor
Oh,
shit.
Maya.
Oh man.
On a stranger's cloud. Yeah.
She'll come in now.
The black from the back end. But then you notice she has like this charcoal look on the edge of her feathers. So it gives, sort of like wrap there and a true beauty when you just look from it through a binocular.
What's really cool too, you know when she had her wings out like this? So you see how speckled she was? That's really important for these guys. They're smaller raptors. So when they're flying,
If you're looking
when
at her
a bird
eyes,
of
you see the
prey is
color.
above them, something that
white.
might eat them, they look down, they're black, so they blend in with the environment. You can't see them. And then when you're below them looking up, because they're speckled, so it's like a camouflage in flight, which is cool. A lot of birds are camouflaged just to blend into the trees. These are camouflaged while they're in flight. Well, it's supposed to help them not be faster than most of us get on the highways. Right, so 65, and then when they see what they want, their food, they can actually go into a stoop where they tuck in and they look like a missile. And they just follow the ground. They hit over 240 miles per hour.
Wow.
That is fast. And so what's cool is when you have her under your glove, look at her nose. In her nose, she has a ball. And when the air goes in her nose and through the slit in the roof of her mouth, by the time it hits her lungs, it's depressurized. So therefore she can breathe just like normal while she's hitting 200 plus miles per hour.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. That's how we got ideas when they designed the first fighter jets. They needed something to go supersonic speeds, so they had to design the cone that's around the engine of the plane, and that cone depressurizes the air going into the engine, which is good for those who travel. If not, the plane would blow up.
So I describe it like wire cutter.
Yeah.
So when you try to
And
cut
he's
the
talking
wire,
right now about their
anything
toenail
wrapped
too,
on
so
that,
when they grab prey,
that
they have to kill prey real quick. So they have a little notch on her beak called a tooth, and she uses it like a wire cutter. So when she grabs her prey, she takes the vertebrae right here and snaps it. And that makes sure the prey dies real fast, because if the prey gets away, she loses her food for the day. So it's very important, and it's quick, and
then a kung
they
fu
don't
master
feel
up
it. They're
there.
fast. It's dead real fast.
So even the
Probably the
initiator
most
kill,
humane
but then
way
deep design to make that
raptors
happen
kill birds.
instamatic. And one other cool adaptation to that is a perculum, the lean button in the nose.
So with her,
So all birds have it.
this perch, this is called a block perch. We
So they want
rotate it
design
out.
for
she does not like
depressurize
to
the
leave
ear.
that.
Wow.
Because she
Because
does not know her surroundings.
if
She
the
knows that
fastest
that's
animal
safe.
on
She's
earth,
never been hurt on
the
that
recorded
thing.
right now, that
This
the
is what we use
peregrine,
with falconry.
he fly up to 200, 240 miles per
birds,
hour.
They tie
So now
their
imagine
bird
you have
seeds.
that
We don't
much
even
wind
have to
in your
tie mine.
face. So what that do, filter that wind while you
She
go
knows
at
that
top
she is
speed,
safe in her
so that how
environment,
you know like explode
which
your
is
lung or
really
your head.
important.
So they could control that as well.
Maya has
They have all these slit on the upper part of their mouth. So inside that slit,
so about a
they
quail
join with
size
the nasal cavity, and everything
like the quails
like
from
a
the
system
environment?
help depressurize yours. So when you look
the
for
most
a
expensive
plane or a jet engine,
We
so that
literally
the
every month we
button
spend
on the
200
front, that the wrong piece, that was that designed for though.
They're
Depressurize
and
the
they
ear
have
so that
to-
way it could
like
pass
today, I'm at a
efficiency
quail
through
until
the
Monday.
engine.
So I'm feeding her a rat. She's
So-
not going to be happy.
I mean, check out the B2 bomber.
They like that
You see the black fighter jet.
you get from
Alright, then the design from Falcons. If you go and you type in
They pull
on
the guts
Google
out.
the B2
They
bomber,
decorate their
B12 bomber,
enclosures with
and
Literally,
the Falcons, you will get the same silhouette.
They don't eat the gut.
Yes.
Aerodynamic.
Yes,
because
yes.
You know, so that's
Exactly.
something cool. So we
they're
owe it
the-
to a lot
yeah,
of
they're good
animals
organs, but not
for a
the
lot of the
intestines
advanced
to
technology where we have.
process food. Like they're
So
broken.
Falcons are part of that.
Even the vultures tend to get the
Actually, there are places that are called falcons, no?
They don't usually
Some jets, falcon
Yeah.
jets.
Falcons. Yeah. The something like that.
Yeah, 14 and 20.
This might be
might
the
be
last one you see.
Not,
That would be a disaster.
Yeah, it
That
is.
would
You
happen.
know?
okay,
So
so
come this way.
we're going to come around here. And you are going to be a perch. Is this glove?
Yes. It's going to be a strong, steady warrior perch.
Maya, glove? You got your thumb? I'm going to hold her for a minute. There we go. You got her? There we go. Hi, Maya.
Yeah.
She's over a pound. Yeah.
I just have a shaky hand.
You good? Nice.
But before they were all not here.
Those pretty feathers. See, that's called a pin feather. You see the sheath on that feather? That's her new feather. You want to?
Yes.
Okay, let me here. You gonna turn around? Face us. Face me. There we go. Okay. This is gonna be like an eagle glove.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Maya. Maya, go.
Good girl. Good girl. I'm gonna hold. This guy knocked his face by a falcon. She pooped. She pooped. People say that's good luck. Yeah, very good luck.
Look at the bird. Look at the bird.
Look at her eyes. You see her white right there? Her eyes? Hi, Maya. Look at those big feet.
Yes.
She's got huge feet.
It wasn't saying like that.
That one has tiny feet.
Yes.
She's got massive feet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, mommy.
You see the ball on her nose?
Yes.
Yeah. What color is she?
Black.
And what's this color?
I know.
It's like an orange, like a brown orange, huh? Yeah.
Papito.
It's okay. She looks so big next to him. Doesn't she? She does. Put your arm out.
Yeah. Bravo. High five.
Yeah. Where's the table?
Good job.
Offline at home. Offline at home.
Want to fly at home?
No, on the flan.
Good girl. You just got it right there?
I want the.
Perfect.
Why are you holding there?
Good girl.
I'll lift you up. Come here. Let me do.
You got a little bit of sun coming in too. It's nice.
Wait, I'm gonna push you to the floor.
You see it already?
No, oh, that? Yeah, I've seen.
Hit the bird in the air.
Uh-huh.
Knock it out.
Well,
One
knocking, no, I
solid
haven't
punch.
seen it. Oh, really?
One solid punch. You see that? Do the body and they keep the body
I've seen that in.
So you call it a stoop.
Oh.
And when they pick up speed after that, and when they lock up on a bird,
Yeah.
bang!
They have the weirdest. They
with
look
the-
like
with the
aliens.
feet.
With their foot there.